Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. Come on in, come on in. It's that time, and you know what time it is. It's that time for this good food for the soul, my brothers and sisters. I look forward to talking to you when we get to the dinner table. So come on in, family. Come on in. My brother and sister, go ahead and invite some more family members and friends to the dinner table because you know we're not short of filling anyone up. If this is your first time at the broadcast or at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Tuma, and I talk about relationships. I talk about a relationship, my brothers and sisters, from a spiritual point of view. When I say spiritual point of view, I clearly believe, and this is my position, I clearly believe that God created and set up the pattern of a relationship. God first had a relationship with a man. That man is Adam. He had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, God represented the woman to the man. And in the presence of God, the man said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. For this particular purpose, a man should leave his father and mother and cleave or unite with his wife. That's the position that I come from. Now, if you're at the dinner table and you have another version of how a relationship should be, you have what is called a free will. You believe whatever you choose to believe because God gave you free will. But if you sit at the dinner table, I'm letting you clearly know that I come from the position of the Genesis position when God brought the woman to the man Adam. God, it was male and female. That's the position I come from. It's documented how God patterned the relationship. Also, my brother and sister, I want you to know that I'm on two different platforms. I'm on the book and I'm on the tube. Now, the thing about being on the book and the tube is this. If you're on the book, you may not see the comments and the name of those on the tube. And those of you on the tube, you may not see the names and comments of those on the book. However, I will call out the name every now and then, and I will mention the comment because we still family here, okay? So I want you all to be aware of that. If you have any comments or questions while we're at the dinner table, by all means, my brother and sister, I want you to express yourself. But be very careful how you express yourself because we may have some guests here and we want them to be able to come back and feel comfortable with this experience at the dinner table. How you doing, Sister Jessica Weaver? Welcome to the dinner table. How you doing, Sister Sharita? Welcome to the dinner table. And I hope that you all are ready for this good meal, this food for the soul. And when we look at the menu for tonight, what is on the menu for tonight? On the menu for tonight is marriage. You can know if a relationship is put together by God. How you doing, Sister Patricia Joy? Welcome to the dinner table. So this is what we're going to have for our meal tonight. Marriage. You can know if a relationship is put together by God. Believe it or not, my brother and sister, those of you that's single, you can know whether the relationship is of God. Those of you that are married, you can know whether the relationship of God. And that's what we're going to discuss briefly at the dinner table. Now, my brothers and sisters, there are some people that wonder what does a relationship look like when God brings a man and woman together. And that's what we're going to get into tonight at the dinner table. And it's really simple. But let us bring out an appetizer. How you doing, Sister Tammy Colvin? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, the appetizer is this. As it is written in the book of Genesis 2:22, then the Lord God made a woman from a rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the woman. This is how all relationships start when it comes to God bringing a man and a woman together. God always bring the woman to the man. I'm going to say this two more times. God always bring a woman to a man. God always bring a woman to a man. Now, he does it several different ways. In Adam's case, it was the real. In Isaac's case, Abraham's servant went to where Abraham came from, and God handpicked the woman and brought her. In Ruth and Boaz's case, Ruth, first husband died and she relocated. So God brings a woman to a man in different ways. He does it in a different way, but God always doing the background work. Now, a man is never to pursue or run after a woman. I'm going to say that 2 more times. A man is not to pursue or run after a woman. A man is not to pursue or run after a woman. And neither should a woman try to attract a man with her body. Let me say that 2 more times. A woman should not try to attract a man with her body. A woman should not try to attract a man with her body. What attracts a man and a woman together? The real answer is the Spirit of God in that man and the Spirit of God in that woman. When God brings a woman to a man, he normally going to bring a woman to a man. That man is going to be ready for a woman. He's not going to be in a position where he's on his way up. God basically bring a woman to a man that's already ready, and that man is basically prepared by God. What do I mean by that? God normally have, the man normally have a relationship with God. Number one, God normally placed that man where he should be. Understand? God give that man a responsibility or an assignment, just like he gave Adam an assignment to cultivate the ground. Not only that, God gives that man responsibility. And what is responsibility? And he gave that man an assignment. What was Adam's assignment? God brought the animals to Adam and he named the animals. Okay. And he had male and female. Adam had everything together. And when Adam had everything together, guess what else Adam had? Adam had a desire. He had a desire. God put a desire in Adam. You remember, it's written, it is not good for man to be alone. Yes, the man had a relationship with God, but God said it's not good for man to be alone, not lonely. That's a key thing, alone. So he had a spiritual connection with God, but he also had, you see, Adam was made of 3 components, like every man and every woman. You had a spirit, you had a soul, and you have a body. So he had a spiritual connection with the Lord. Now it was a time for Adam to have a connection with someone like him in his own likeness, because the man was in the likeness of the Lord. And now the woman was brought to the man, and she was going to represent the man. She was going to be the helpmeet for the man. You understand? So when God brought Eve to Adam, before he did that, listen to this. Adam was asleep. He had a desire, but he was asleep. He didn't go looking for no woman. Isaac didn't go looking for a woman. Boaz didn't go looking for a woman. The God of the Bible, God, he does all the bringing. So God does the lead work. I always say that God does the lead work when the man is ready. So God also have a relationship with the woman. Just like he took the rib of Adam and formed the woman, he prepared the woman for Adam. And that's the same thing God does today. He prepares the woman for the man. What do I mean? God implant in that woman a blueprint. And what is that blueprint? It is the Proverb 31 woman. That's the ultimate blueprint. Thank you, Sister Tammy. Sister Tammy said, good selection on the menu. Thank you. So God imprints in that woman a Proverb 31 woman. He put the pattern in the woman to be that Proverb 31 woman, not a worldly woman. So my brother and sister, if you want to know the pattern, what God patterned the woman after, it's the Proverb 31 woman. Is the woman perfect? No, she is not perfect. Is the man perfect? No, he's not perfect. When God bring a woman to the man, is the man complete? When the man sees the woman, is he complete? No, a man is complete before he meets the Lord. A woman is complete before she meets the Lord. So don't get it twisted, my brother and sister. A man and a woman is already complete. But when God bring a man and a woman together, he merging the mind. He's merging the spirit first. Then he merging the soul, which is composed of the mind, the will, and the emotion. He merging the body together. And everything come after that, finance and all that kind of stuff. God merges the man and woman together. And that's when the man and woman become one. So the man is in unity, the man and the woman is in unity with God separate. They're in unity with God collectively. So the foundation of a relationship between a man and a woman is God, Son, Jesus is the rock and the foundation of the relationship. You remember that song, my brother and sister, I have said before. You remember the song by Ashford and Simpson, Solid as a Rock. And I always tell you, my brother and sister, listen to that song. Really, really listen to that song, Solid as a Rock. So when a man and a woman is together, and if the Lord is there, the relationship going to be solid as a rock. Even if storms come into the relationship, they're going to come. The house is not going to fall because it's built on a rock. Unless the Lord established the house, it's built in vain. So the Lord established the relationship between a man and a woman. The foundation is laid. So when the foundation is laid, the Lord builds the house with the man and the woman, because God knows what that man needs. God knows what that woman needs. How you doing, Brother Walker? Welcome to the dinner table. So that is how it is. So I'm going to start a little with the single part, and then I'm going to get to the marriage part. Now, my single brothers and sisters, if you have a desire to be in a relationship, that's a good thing. There's nothing unholy about it. God placed a desire for a woman, for a man, and a man have a desire for a woman, unless you're a unit. So, brother, if you have a desire for a woman, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you have a desire for a woman, God letting you know, brother, that you're supposed to be a husband. Sister, if you have a desire for a man, God letting you know that you're supposed to be a wife. And that's real simple. That's on the flesh part. So God giving you a little sign that you were made to be married. And also it is written that the woman was not, the man was not created for the woman, but the woman was created for the man to be a helpmeet. So when God brings a woman into the life of a man, she is a helpmeet. That's why the man's supposed to be understand what kind of gift he have, and he should have a purpose in life, instead of getting up doing the same thing over and over again. You see, the big scheme of thing, when God bring a man and a woman together, it is to represent God's glory on this earth. You see, the man is a replica of Christ loving the church, and the woman is a replica of the church respecting and loving her husband. So when you look at it, the man and the woman is like Christ is the bridegroom, and he's going to be the husband. The woman is the bride, and she's going to be the wife. So a man and a woman reflects the relationship of Christ loving the church and the church respecting the husband. And it's just like this. Brother, you got to understand this. When it comes to a woman, the Bible clearly tells the husband to love the wife. And how do you love your wife? You got to read how Christ loved the church. Christ loved the church to the point where he gave his life up for the church. And how does the wife do towards the husband? The wife respect the husband. That's, sister, how men equate love. Men look at you respect them. Women, brother, they look at, they think about how you treat them. That's why the Bible clearly say, my brother, that you're supposed to understand the woman, the wife, your wife. You're supposed to understand them. So that means you're supposed to, that's why you need Christ, because you are a man. You don't know how to deal with a woman. You did not come into the world with a blueprint. And sister, you don't understand how to respect the man. You did not come into the world with a blueprint. You see, brothers and sisters, I know if you have a godly parents, bless their heart, they're supposed to instruct you brothers how to prepare for a wife. And if you have godly parents, sister, they're supposed to prepare you for how to go about dealing with a husband. Most households don't bring their their sons up preparing for a wife. And most households don't bring up a woman a little girl to be a wife. And I talk about the Western culture. In other cultures, they normally do it. And let me tell you about some other cultures. You see, the thing about other cultures, like in the Middle East, a lot of times these marriages be pre-arranged. But in the Western world, they don't be pre-arranged. In the Eastern world, a lot of them be arranged when they be small. But in the Western world, it's not like that. But you still have the same, you should have the same God. So God always bring the marriage together. So being single, my brother, and being single, sister, how you doing, Sister Gray? So being single, brother, and being single, sister, you got to understand it. At the beginning of the relationship, I always say this, brothers, you don't know what type of woman you supposed to have in your life. Sister, you don't know the type of man that you supposed to have in your life. So, brothers, as of today, if you're single, and sister, as of today, do not write down no top 10 list, brother, or what the woman's supposed to have. Sister, don't have no top 10 list of what the man's supposed to have. Brother, what you supposed to do, if you understand yourself and you know you have desire for a woman, you supposed to pray to God for the woman. And you let God bring the right woman to you. God is not going to bring a perfect woman to you, brother, so you can hang it up. He's going to bring the right woman to you. And sister, the same thing. You pray to God for a man to find you. You see, sister, you pray for the man to find you. Brother, you pray for God to bring a woman to you. You understand? Just like he did Adam. He brought Eve to Adam. Adam didn't go running after a skirt. He didn't pursue. You see, from the world point of view, especially the Western world, some women like to play games and they want to see how far the man would go. A lot of women, they are, how shall I say it? Their minds are messed up. They go by the tradition of some of their mothers and female. You supposed to play games and make the man run after you. That's the world way. God way is not for a man to run after you. God way is for a man to be prepared to take you in to be his helpmeet. And sister, it is not for you to try to attract the man with your body. And that's how the world is. A lot, and you all know I'm telling the truth. The world, basically, as it is today, a lot of women, they try to bait men with their bodies. Oh, yeah, you could bait a man with your body, but what type of man you going to get? And so, brothers, and you don't supposed to be flashing money and things and trinkets at a woman to get their attention. So there's a lot of you guys, you think because of your money, your stature, and your power and popularity, that's supposed to attract a woman. Yes, you will. You will attract a worldly woman. And sister, back to the body thing, you will attract the worldly man. So you have to decide, my single brother and sister, what do you need in your life? Not what do you want, but what do you need in a spouse? And you leave that up to God. Why do you leave it up to God? That's why you pray. Because God, brother, he knows the woman that's compatible to you. And sister, he knows the man that is compatible with you. So when God bring a man and a woman together to be one, that woman, she's going to make up for the deficiencies of the man. And vice versa. It's going to happen the same way. How you doing, Sister Weaver? Sister Weaver said, God way is opposite of the world way. Amen. God way is the opposite. So you single brother and you single sisters, you can't listen to some of you sisters. Stop listening to those women in the beauty salon. They just yap about men and stuff. They listen to them. They talk about worldly things. Just listen to them. And you guys, the barbershop conversation and the fishing trip conversation, stop listening to those men. Because they're going to tell you things from the world point of view. And let's be real, my brother, sister, what do they be talking about? Let me go to both sides of the coin, my single brother, my single sister. In the barbershop, men mostly talking about getting a woman horizontally, or to tell you, have you hit that? Will you hit that? That's how they be talking. And that's real. And let me give you an example. If you're a single man and you got worldly friends, let me give you a scenario. You bring a woman around your guy friends, okay? Let's say Sunday come up. Brother. And you're going to look at a football game with your boys, right? The worldly men. They never met this woman before. So you bring her along with you because your guy friends, they're going to have their women with them, right? So you bring your friend, quote unquote, your friend over to there and you introduce her to your guy friends and some of their women that's over there with them, right? We talk about worldly people. So let me tell you, this is how it's going to go down. And I have said it before. Sister, if it's you and you go with him to his guy's house and they worldly men, let me tell you this is what's gonna happen. When you come in, you godless sister, that's why you can't get hooked up with these unequally yoked worldly men. I'm trying to educate you. Don't get with these type of men, the unequally yoked men. But some of you, you're gonna disregard what I'm saying. You're gonna do it anyway. So you go with him to the football game. So this is what's gonna happen. He's gonna introduce you to his guy friend, and let me tell you what his guy friend is gonna do. They're gonna look at you from the top to the bottom. They're gonna look at you. You see, men's are visual. They're gonna look at how you look and how fine you are. And they don't say nothing to you right then. They'll be pleasant around you. And this is what's going to happen. Let's say, sister, that the other women, they in the kitchen or something like that, preparing snacks or whatever. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. And and those women, they say, come on in here. Let us, come on so we can get to know you. So you go in there, you go in there with them. Let me tell you what his guy friend's going to do. While you walking, this is what his guy friend's going to do. And when you go in the kitchen or you go to the restroom, this is when the talk going to go down. This is how worldly men talk. They're going to say, hey, man, where you meet her at? And then he going to tell them where he met you at. Then the next question is this. This is hypothetical how worldly men talk. Okay, then they're gonna volunteer and tell the man their observation of you, sister. They're gonna say, well, she looked real nice and she fine too. So they tell the man, you look good and you look fine. Guess what the other question is? Then they may look and see, is she around or could she hear? Then they may start talking low. Then they're gonna say, have you hit that yet? Have you hit it? And your worldly man, he gonna say yes or no. If he say yes, he have had physical intimacy with you, you know the next question going to be, how was it? And then a worldly man, he's going to tell his boys how it was. He gonna draw a scene how it was. And little does that man know, some of his boys there, they don't mind, you know, tilting your skirt up. Because you're gonna have some of those in there too. So say for instance, you about to come back in the room by yourself or with the other women. They're gonna quickly change the subject. They probably gonna start talking about the football game or something else if they see you come. That's how it knowing to go down. Now, brother, let me tell you what happened. This is what's gonna happen. She invites you to a picnic with her family or friend. And brother, I'm talking about you, Christian brother, you get entangled with a worldly woman. And she take you around her worldly friends and family. So you come in, she have already told them a little about you anyway. She have built you up and all kinds of stuff. So they know a lot about you, brother, whether you believe it or not. So when you get over there, they got this mental checklist. The women gonna have a mental checklist, and her guys, her family member, they're gonna have a checklist too, because they're gonna separate you. Okay, they're gonna separate you. This is what's gonna happen. This is typical. She taking you around her worldly family and her worldly friend. You're a Christian. You get there and they smile and greet you and all that kind of stuff, right? They doing that. So the women gonna be scoping you out, brother, and her family member guy, they're gonna be checking you out. That's a separation that's gonna take place. What the separation? She gonna leave you around the males. And why she leaving you around the male? Because they gonna be questioning you about some things. And while she going over there with her worldly family and friends, they gonna start talking to her too. Yeah, Sister Tammy said, how do you know he's the one? That's what they're going to be talking about. But let me tell you this, what her worldly family women are going to say. They're going to say, those that haven't gotten too much info on, they're going to say, what? This is the question. What does he do? You know what that means, brother, when they ask her, what does he do? That means, what does he do? This means what type of money he got. That's why they ask that question, what does he do? So when they ask that question, what does he do? They trying to figure out how deep your pocket is, brother. That's why they do that. And then they may slip in some things about what have he done for you? That's what the next thing they want to know. What have he been doing for you? It equate a lot to money. What have you done for? So the guys, brother, you Christian brother, they're going to be asking some questions too. You may be in for a little drill session with these guys, because you see, they're going to get the message back to this woman, whether or not you cool or not. And at this time, you Christian brother, that's when, if the guys, if they drinking their Michelobs and all that kind of stuff, they're going to offer you a drink. Yeah, they're going to offer you a drink. Then they probably ask you, do you play cards and all that kind of stuff? But what they doing, they're being pleasant, all right, but it's part of them getting to know you, because it's going to be a report back. Your uncles, her uncles and all that kind of stuff, they're going to talk to their women. And the women going to get that back, or they probably going to talk to that woman by yourself. So this is how it go down when you with a worldly person, you single brother and you single sister. That's why you don't supposed to be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Sister Tammy say, I got a question. If there's a guarantee with a brother in Christ, he's the one. Sister Tammy, that's a good question. Is there a guarantee? There's no guarantees. The only way it could be a guarantee, it depends on that man's relationship with God and the woman's relationship with God. That's why a man supposed to pray for a wife, not a girlfriend. And the woman's supposed to pray for a husband. That man and that woman, God can bring you together, but God does not make you stay together. You have what is called a free will, my brother and sister. So with your free will, you have to make a decision because God doesn't make robots. So God will keep you together if you let him stay in a relationship. So my brother and sister, when God brings, because you got to understand, my brothers and sisters, that God doesn't bring two perfect people together. He doesn't do it. There are no perfect men and women. That was only one that was Jesus. So when it comes to a relationship, that man is going to come in with his flaws and his past. That woman going to come in with her flaws and her past. That's why a lot of brothers and sisters that get together, you got to understand this. The first time you meet somebody, that's not the real person. Because most people, my single brother and sister, you are meeting the representative. Because when you first meet someone, they're going to try to portray the best version of his or herself. That's what you got to understand. A man going to present the best version of himself, sister, and brother, she going to present the best version of herself to you. So the time say, I met someone like that, brother, and we are non-divorced. We thought God brought us together. That's right. And Sister Tam said, Satan got the way through. That's why, my brother and sister, that's why I said you must pray to God. And you see, when you pray to God, my brother and sister, God always bring the right people together. He never brings the wrong people together. But when God brings the right people together, the right people got to make a decision. And that decision is, we going to go by what thus says the Lord as far as a relationship. Now, some people think, you single brother and sister, you may think that good communication keep the relationship together. That's the first thing worldly people talk about. When you ask worldly people what keep their relationship together, even people that been married for years and years, the first thing they'll say is good communication. That's a bunch of crap, brother and sister. Good communication is not what keep relationship together. Good communication is a byproduct of a relationship with Jesus. So if a man and a woman does not have Jesus in a relationship, it's something else that keeping them together, and it's not Jesus. If Jesus is not in a relationship, the man benefiting from it and the woman benefiting from it. You understand? They're benefiting from it, my brother and sister. What it's about me, myself, and I. That's why, my brother and sister, God does not want you to be unequally yoked. Now, Satan know what you're looking for, brother, in a woman. Sister, Satan know what you're looking for in a man. You know how he know? Because Satan got a whole lot of history in watching man and woman. He got a history of it. His history go back to the Garden of Eden. That's how far Satan studied you, brothers. He studied you, sisters, but Satan can't be at the same place at the same time. So guess what? Satan have a demon or demons assigned to you, especially, brother, if you are a Christian. Sister, Satan got a demon or demons assigned to you, especially if you're a Christian. If you're not a Christian, Satan he ain't worried about you because he know you blind anyway. But what really gets Satan attention and his demons attention when you talk about a Christian involved in it. Because you see, Satan do not want a Christian man and a Christian woman living a Christian relationship, because he knows that if it's a Christian man and a Christian woman that doing right by the Lord, he know that they can influence potential people that want to get married. Satan don't want a man and woman that's a Christian to set the bar, because Jesus is living through that couple to illuminate those people. So let me tell you this. When it comes to a relationship, there are fruits. The fruits come from who you hook up with. When Satan bring a man and a woman to you, guess what? Like I said, Satan know what you like, brother, and he know what you like, sister. So Satan, brother, he gonna bring a particular woman to you because Satan know your type. Sister, Satan know your type. He heard the old conversation what you sister had with your girlfriends. Brother, he heard the old conversation what you had with your guy friends. Sister, Satan know the type of men that you used to date and what you like. Brother, Satan know the type of women that you like. So all Satan gonna do is he gonna repackage one of his daughters, brother, for you. And sister, he's going to repackage a man for you. That's why a lot of times, some of you brothers and sisters, you going through relationship to relationship to relationship. And you know what you don't understand, some of you brothers and sisters, that going from relationship to relationship to relationship. You picking someone that had the characteristic of the man or woman that you dealt with in the past, minus the negative part. Sister Tammy said, how can you avoid counterfeits, Christian brother? They pretend real good sometimes. And that's a good question, Sister Tammy. And this what happened. You see, the Bible say clearly that Satan portrays himself like an angel of light. Satan not hideous. Satan he portrays himself as an angel of light. He is the father of lies. He is a deceiver. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. His sons and daughter have those characteristics. One characteristic, main characteristic that Satan daughter and son have is a thing called pride. Pride is one characteristic of Satan's sons and daughters. Satan's sons and daughters come with masks on. They may have several masks. That's why it's very imperative and important, sister and brother, that you pray to God about a potential mate. Because Satan brings people to your attention too, brother, and your attention too, sister. You got to understand. Now, my Christian brother, you got to get past what you see with your eyes. Yes, you got to get past what you see with your eyes. Just because a woman look good and just because a woman fine on the outside, that don't mean that she's righteous on the inside. And some of you sisters, you got to get past how deep is that man's pocket. You got to get past that kind of stuff. All of that is temporary. Sister, you got to see, does that man have the spirit of Christ in him? So brother and sister, you got to see what type of fruit it bears. Now, I'm going to give you two illustrations from the fruits of Satan and the fruits of God. My brother and sister, let me tell you this. Satan going to bring a person to you, and it's all about the appearance. Listen to what I'm saying. It's all about the appearance. It's a counterfeit. You see, Satan always bring a counterfeit. My brother and sister, if it seemed too good to be true, it is not true. If it seemed too good to be true, it's not true. My brothers and sisters, when Satan brings one of his sons and daughter to you, that's why you have to pray for discernment. You have to ask God in a silent prayer, is he or she real? Once you ask God, is he or she real, God is going to flush that person out through the words and or action. You see, God, you're going to be able to put that person on a scale. You're going to be able to match his or her word and action. It got to balance. If it's a real deal, the man word or the woman word is going to balance with the action. God gives you wisdom. He gives you knowledge. He gives you understanding, and he gives you discernment. Discernment is what God going to let you be able to see. You're not going to be confused by it. God going to show that person up. But you see, when God show that person up, he's not going to stop you from doing what you're going to do, because God wants you to make a decision. If you, brother, or if you, sister, if it's something that you got a question about that person, that's part of your discernment. If it's from God, we'll get to that part. But if it's from God, it's going to be something else. But if it's from Satan, you're going to have a question mark. Things are not going to appear to be right. If you were Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, you would call it your spider senses, okay? But you're not Spider-Man, you're not Spider-Man, or you're not Spider-Woman. So it's your discernment. God gonna flush that man or woman out. Their words, they're gonna be words, even if they don't talk that much. What's on the inside is gonna come out, because what's on the inside is their mind, their soul. So whatever in the soul is going to come out, God is going to push it out. He may push all of it out at one time, or he may give you pieces. So Tammy said, okay, yeah, how can you predict? So Tammy said, how long does it usually take for a Christian man to expose himself? Like you said, they put on masks, but how long does it take to flush them out? The Lord will flush them out. So let me tell you something, you sisters. When a man approach you, you cannot let that man get a pass. Sister, never let a man get a pass. When it comes to a relationship, sister, you need to ask some direct questions. You, sister, you're going to have to go by discernment, not your feelings. Worldly women go by their feelings. You, sister, you have feelings, but you have to go by the spirit that's in you. And you have to ask some point blank questions. You, sister, you need to ask that man, okay, we here. What is it that you need or want from me? You have to look that man in the eye and say, what is it that you need or want from me? And then you got 2 ears, sister, and 1 mouth. You got to listen and keep your mouth closed. Because whatever he say, the Lord is going to put in your mind some more probing questions. So you, sister, you got to ask probing questions. Even if it's on your first date, you got to know what's going on. You need to ask him, what type of relationship you looking for from me? You don't ask him what type of relationship you're looking for. No, you made this a personal thing. What type of relationship are you looking for from me? 2 ears, 1 mouth. Be quiet. Listen to what this guy got to say. Then you tell him what type of relationship. You give him some of your expectation. Don't give him all your expectation. Never give this guy all your expectation. You give him, you let this man know, look, I want to know what are your intentions with me? Where are you trying to lead me? Because the man's supposed to be the lead. Are you a leader? You see, sister, you got to be able to be direct. You can smile, but you got to ask some point blank probing question. Are you a leader? Before are you a leader? Are you a Christian? So, sister, ask the man, are you a Christian? What type of relationship do you have with Jesus Christ? That if he's not right, if he's not a Christian, they're gonna rock him right there, and you're gonna be able to see right then how he respond to that question. Most men are not asked that question. Do you have a relationship with Christ? So you ask him, what type of relationship you have with God's son Jesus? That's right, Brother Walker said, ask that brother what his vision and mission statement in his life. Good point, Brother Walker. So when you ask that man, does he have a relationship with Christ? You ask him, what is your purpose? Ask him what his purpose is. Worldly men really don't have no purpose. They go by their passion. They don't have a purpose. You see, God give a man a purpose with passion. Worldly, but I mean a spiritual man, purpose with passion. A worldly man has passion, what they think is a purpose. So don't get it twisted. Ask him what his purpose is and listen to him. Then, sister, what you ask this man, where do I fit in that purpose? If he's a worldly man, he's going to talk about me, myself, and I. Because he's a narcissist. He's going to talk about, he could be a nice narcissist. He could be a handsome narcissist. He could be a six-pack narcissist. He could have a three-figure income narcissist. He could have that big house on the hill narcissist. He could be have a position of power narcissist. He could have a whole bunch of money in the bank type of narcissist. He could be sweet. You think the devil, you think Satan came off on Eve in a way where she didn't want to talk to him? Satan needed a body. So he used the body of a serpent. Satan entered into that serpent to communicate with Eve. So if that man is not of God, Satan or one of his demons or demons, plural, going to be in that man. But if you have the spirit of Christ, Christ's going to flush him out. So you ask that man in purpose. Then you tell him what type, okay, where are you trying to lead me with the purpose? Because you see, sister, you know that you are supposed to be a helpmeet. If he can't put you in it, he's not looking for a helpmeet. He's looking for something temporary or something temporary long term. You understand? Sister Grace said, man, so true. I visually remember my son's father talking about himself for hours on our first phone call. I felt weird about it and didn't trust that feeling. That's right, Sister Grace. They're going to be all about me, myself, and I. That's all they know. You, sister, yeah, Sister Grace said he was a narcissist in the beginning. That's how a lot of them operate. That's how Satan operated. Satan operated with Eve real cool. He got Eve to be comfortable. Eve was comfortable talking to a snake. That's just how good Satan was. And these guys, they are snakes. They are wolves in sheep clothing, sisters. You got to understand that. So, sister, these guys look at you like you Little Red Riding Hood. That's how they look at you. They the big bad wolf, and you Little Red Riding Hood. What did Little Red Riding Hood tell the wolf? Oh, what big eyes you got. The better to look at you. Oh, what big ears you got. The better to listen to you, baby. Oh, what long teeth you got. It's better this to eat you up. And they're going to devour you. And you know what they most want to devour you on? Your body. I'm going to be general, and I have said it before. Out of 10 men, sister, listen up. Brother, I'm going to talk to you all second about these worldly women. So, brothers, hang on. Sisters, out of 10 men, and I'm being generous, 2 or 3 really want to get to know you for who you are. The rest of them want what you have. Number one thing they want is to get you horizontal. That's the number one thing most of them want, to get you horizontal. And you know what I'm talking about. Number 2, if you could do something for them, if they could scam some stuff out of you, they want that too. And after they squeeze the juice, you're going to be discharged until the next episode. That's why, sister, you have to ask God what type of man this is. I'm talking to you, single sister. You have to ask God, because they're coming to you that way. Listen to them talk. Now, if you at dinner, let me tell you something about dinner. And this is something simple, my sister. If you at dinner, if this man claimed to be a Christian, he won't have no problem in praying over the meal. Most worldly men won't pray over the meal. Most worldly men want you to pray. Spiritual men take the lead. You understand? Spiritual men take the lead. Spiritual men, and this is some simple stuff, my sister. If you in a restaurant, a spiritual man will position himself in a protected mode. What am I talking about? If you go to the restaurant, if this man a Christian, and if he think about you and care for you, he's going to have a protection mode set. He will position himself where he could watch the door. Why would he do that? Because he wants you to eat in peace so he could detect if anything going to go to the left. If a nut come in the door or whatever, he could pick up on stuff because he's supposed to be like a little shepherd. He's not the shepherd, but he's supposed to be like a little shepherd. He's supposed to be watching your back. Let me give you an example. When Boaz met Ruth, what was Boaz thinking about? He wanted to know a whole bunch of information on Ruth. He did a quick credit check on Ruth. When I said credit check, he asked his foreman about Ruth. He got some quick background on her. When Boaz seen Ruth, he knew right then she was the one. He already had himself situated. Boaz seen a whole bunch of women that was out there on his property. Ruth stood out day one with Boaz. Day one. It was something about that woman. You know what it was about Ruth? She had a relationship with the Lord. And by her having a relationship with the Lord light is shined through her. It illuminated her from all the other women. Can you imagine when Boaz started paying attention to Ruth? Can you imagine the sidebar conversation with the other women? What's so special about her? Do you know her? Do you know her? What's so special about her? Where she come from? This just day one on the job. Where she come from? That's how the old women gonna do. And let me tell you this. When Boaz asked questions about Ruth, he was instantly interested in her. Boaz had pure intentions. He's one of the 3 out of the 10 men. So when he looked at Ruth and he got a quick background check on Ruth, this is what Boaz said. He told the farmer, make sure, because she was a gleaner. Boaz said, make sure she gets some extra stuff. So Boaz was already processing that's going to be my wife. He was already processing, that's going to be my wife. And he hadn't even said nothing to her yet. And not only that, Boaz said, I don't want nobody messing with her. So now he's in protection mode. Before he said anything to her. And then when he started talking to Ruth, he talked to her in an understanding way. And guess what Boaz did? He asked Ruth to come to dinner with him. That's right. He asked Ruth to come to have dinner. What did Ruth do? Ruth got off from work and she went home and told her mother-in-law, Naomi, about this guy named Boaz. And it went something like this. Mother Naomi, at my job today, I met this guy named Boaz. Do you know anything about him? Naomi did like this. Who you say? Boaz. Do you know anything about this guy, Boaz? Boaz. Yeah, I know Boaz. I know him. He is part of the family. He was related to my husband. He's in the family. Well, he invited me to dinner. He what? He invited me to dinner. This is what you're going to do. Take those clothes off. Put that dress on over there. Go take you a good bath. Get your hair together. Don't put on that red dress. You know that. Johnny Gill wasn't even back there, that red dress. Put on that dress right there. Put on that white dress. Yeah, you pure. Put on that white dress. Now go on to dinner. She went to dinner. Had a nice dinner with Boaz. She asked him, what is it about me? Boaz was straight to the point. And let me put something in. This is gonna blow some of you all mind. Don't you know that Ruth spent the night with Boaz? Now some of you say, oh, they had sex. They did. They did it. No. She laid at the foot of Boaz. I can go deep into that. It was no physical activity. Boaz seen in Ruth something more than a one-night stand. Boaz did not see Ruth as temporary. Boaz did not see Ruth as temporary long-term, meaning we could move together, we could shack together, but I ain't gonna marry you. He seen wide potential in Ruth. So what did Boaz do? Boaz tried to figure out how I'm going to marry this woman. Boaz made up his mind right then. That woman is mine. Y'all see that woman right there? Day one, when I met her, I did the Boaz thing. I told Cinderella, I said, hey, I'm going to marry you. And she started laughing. She said, what? You know, ask me? I said, no, I ain't asking you nothing. I said, we're going to get married. She probably thought I was crazy, but I told her day one, brothers know, sister, we know how far we want to go with you. You see, we put you in a category of temporary, long-term, or permanent. What does temporary mean? We don't have to really know your name, but let's have some fun until the next episode. Temporary, long-term. We can say we got a serious relationship. We could say that we're committed. You can move in with me. I can move in with you. Or you can stay at your place. I can stay at your place. I'm your boyfriend. You my girlfriend. I'm your boo. You my boo. You my man. You my woman. You my long-term fiance without a wedding date. I might get you a ring, but I ain't gonna marry you. I get you what is called a shut-up ring. What is a shut-up ring? I'm going to get you an engagement ring, but it's really a shut-up ring because you keep asking me these questions. Where are we going with this relationship? So I got to put that ring on you because I'm tired of you asking me. That's what he's thinking. He ain't saying it. I'm tired of you asking me. I ain't gonna marry you, but we can stay together 20 years. I'm not going to marry you. And that's how some women, some of you Christian sisters get mad because when you and the man break up, he marry another woman in 2 weeks' time, and you think he had a side woman on the side. He might not have had a side woman, but he met who he wanted in his life. And him and that woman, he met this other woman in 2 weeks, married her with you 20 years, didn't marry you, ghost you, and he married the other woman in 2 weeks, and he with her for 20 years. And you want to talk about the man was a dog. He was a dog. He brought the bone to you when y'all first met. He brought the bone to you and you tried to put imaginary meat on the bone. I'm talking to some of you sisters hard tonight. That's what he tried to do. That's why the Lord gave you discernment. Back to Boaz and Ruth. Boaz had to deal with what is called the kinsman law, because there was someone in line to marry Ruth. So Boaz had to talk to this man, and it came down to the man saying, hey, bro, you can go ahead and marry her. So what did Boaz do? Boaz told the whole city. And that's another thing, sister. When a man loves you, he's going to broadcast it. He's not going to hide you. He's not going to hide you in the booth, in the back, in the corner, in the door. He's gonna make this public. Have you ever noticed, my brothers and sisters, on social media a lot of times? You ever notice a lot of ladies that say they're in a relationship and they taking all these pictures, they be going to Dubai and all that kind of stuff, and no women are around. Somebody taking a picture. That's their boyfriend. Oh, I said something. Let me move along because I'm stepping on some toes tonight. But Satan will set up his son to bamboozle you, to deceive you and to dump you after he go ghost on you. And you see, a lot of these narcissist guys, Satan son, they know exactly what to say. They got experience. How they got experience? Because their daddy got experience. Satan got experience. Satan know what to say to these women. He knew what to say to Eve, and Eve was perfect. So if Satan knew what to say to Eve, and she was perfect, but she got tricked, what you think his sons, where you think his sons got it from? Because their daddy be in them talking, saying, son, tell her this, tell her this. It worked on that last woman. It worked on the other women. It'll work on her too. And if it seems like it don't work, then what Satan said, oh, we got to come up with an advanced plan. We got to throw something else because she ain't gonna be that easy. We got to work a little hard on her. Because let me tell you, sisters, let me tell you something, sister. The average time most men want to get you horizontal is on 3 dates. If they could get you horizontal on date 1, they would do it. But most of the time, statistically speaking, most men want to get you horizontal within 3 days. Because see, men do like this. If I'm going to be paying, if I'm going to be taking her to the movies, dinner, and all that kind of stuff, she got to pay me back. That's how word and men think. Word and men, some of you sisters, when y'all got with word and men, do you think they just taking you out just because? Just because? When you at a club, some of you sisters that still go to club, when a man buy you a drink, is he buying you a drink just because you thirsty? No, men buy you drink because that's an invitation so they could talk. Sisters, if you still going to the club, don't take drinks from men because that's an invitation for them to talk. Some of you act like you don't know what time it is. You got your watch on. If you don't have your watch on, you have your little cell phone and it have a clock on it. What time is it, Morris Day? So, my sister, let me tell you this. Stop fooling yourselves. Stop getting so emotional. Let the Lord show you what type of devil this is. Now, you brothers, on the flip side, you got to understand it, brother. You Christian brother. You dealing with these worldly men. I mean, these worldly women. Some of you Christian brother, you get hung up on the breast side, how she look in the face. You get so captivated on how her lips shape. You get so captivated on how much cleavage she show. You get so captivated on how wide her hips is. You get so captivated on how big her thighs is and her calves is. If you ain't got that fetish for feet, you ain't too much. And then the biggest thing, you want her to turn around so she could do, and you're gonna play that juvenile music, back that thing up. You want to see what she got back there in the back. Have I cleared it? That's what a lot of you brothers, you mixing up with these worldly women. All they doing is selling themselves. They looking for attention. Worldly women look for attention. Don't you see a lot of them on social media looking for attention? They don't have nothing to say. Nothing to say. They be on there every day on social media. They ain't telling nobody nothing. They just say, look at me. They just take a profile picture, look at me. Or they'll be in a swimming suit in the bedroom, the bed not made up, look at me. That's how they just want you to look at their body. Or some of them, they want you, now some men, y'all be working out, but a lot of these women, they want you to see them working out. That's right, Sister Grace. They want you to see them working out. They ain't got no workout class, but they want you to see them work out. They have on that little tight stuff. So, brother, why do you think a lot of these worldly women go to the gym? Now, some of them actually go to work out, but why do you think a lot of them go to the gym? They looking for attention. Why do you think they travel in packs and come to clubs? They looking for attention, most of them. Why they be dressed so skimpy? They looking for attention. In person and especially on social media. So let me tell you this, brother, when you see a woman on social media or a person, when she's showing a lot of cleavage, now there's nothing wrong with a woman getting a little air. Now, if it's like here, you don't want to see no woman where it's separate, where one on this one hemisphere over here and one hemisphere over there. You don't want no woman that's showing all where it's separate at. You don't want a woman that keep showing all her stomach. And some of them, they got stomach that over the pan. But then the rest of them, they want you to see how small their stomach is. Then they want to wear that tight stuff. And then some of them, they have those camel toe. You all know what I'm talking about, camel toe. Don't you know some women, brother, they buy fake, we adults here, vagina. They buy fake vaginas. They call camel toe, and they stick it in their pants. And then some of you Christian brother, you all be saying, wow, look at all that. What can I do with all that? Or they get those operations, and the backside ain't real. They get those injections. A lot of stuff ain't real, brother, and you just run after that. You ain't even think about whether Jesus is in that woman. That right, Sister Gray? Lack modesty. So let me tell you this. Yeah, Sister Gray said this society is so messed up. Brother, you want me to tell you what a beautiful woman is? Ruth. The Bible doesn't say how Ruth looked on the outside, but what it's telling you about Ruth is about her character on the inside. That's the main focus of Ruth, her character on the inside. A Proverb 31 woman. You would tell what she got from the inside. Now, there are a few women like Sarah. Sarah was a knockout when she was almost 100 years old. She was an attractive woman. Rachel, the Bible says she would ease on the eye. That means she was beautiful, but her sister Leah was, but Rachel, she was ease on the eye. Esther, a queen, beauty queen. But all these women, they were beautiful on the outside, those three, but they were also beautiful on the inside because they had Christ in them. Let me tell you this, brother. Now, when you pray for a woman, brother, and God bring you with the woman to you, however he set up the situation, you could be going to the store because you need to get some hot dogs and some hot dog buns and some poke bean for your dinner. This woman coming in, and she coming to buy some stuff, groceries and everything, and then you see her. It's not no coincidence. It's not no luck. And I hope that you didn't go to that palm reader up the street. I hope you, brother, is not reading the zodiacs. No, God purposely set that woman up to come to the grocery store at that time. She coming to get groceries. She ain't looking for no man. You coming there to get your hot dogs, your hot dog buns, and some of you all might use some ketchup and mustard, but some of you would do some crazy stuff like you said, hey, I'm going to get some peanut butter to put on my hot dog. But anyway, God set up the situation. And God set up the situation where you could see her. And it wasn't luck. That was the woman for you before the foundation of the world. God already had you hooking up with a brother, but you went off course. And she probably went off course with other men. She went off course with other men. You went off course with other women. But God had in his mind, I want you two together before the foundation of the world. So when God bring a man and a woman together, it was already in his mind. It was on purpose. Why? Because God wanted you, brother. He got a purpose and a gift for you. He bring a woman in to help manifest your purpose. So when a woman come in, when a godly woman come in, she is going to cause your purpose to multiply. Do you understand that? Women have the ability to multiply. That's why you need a godly woman, because they're coming in to multiply. Worldly women, back to godly women, they coming in to multiply. They are asset. Worldly women coming in with their hands out saying, what's up, doc? And they come to be a liability. When you deal with a worldly woman, you're going to notice she's going to always want you to buy something. It's going to cost you money. When you go to the worldly women high, they want you to stop by the store and get something. You go, they said, I want to eat dinner tonight. Come on over. So you thinking she finna cook dinner. Now, when you get there, she said, what restaurant you going to take me to? These worldly women, they would even say, let's go to dinner. It's on me. You get to, and this is how worldly women do. They would say, let's go to a restaurant. It's on me. You get to the restaurant, the waiter or waitress bring you the ticket. She ain't don't even look at the ticket. Because you know, in the good old days, they used to put the ticket by the man. But now they put in the middle. Let me give you all something. Some of you have heard this story before. I'm going to tell it to you again. This what happened. I'm going to give you 2 episodes in my life. I was in college. My brother and sister, and your brother was low on money. He was real low on money. I had this little part-time job. I was low on money in college. Naive. This young lady, she said, Tony, you want to go to this particular restaurant. At this particular time, this particular restaurant, you had to call in and make reservation. And you just couldn't go up there with jeans and a t-shirt. No, you had to dress to impress. So I said, yeah. She said, are we going to this restaurant? So I'm naive and I'm thinking, okay, she called me. So I'm thinking it was on her. We got to the restaurant. We sat down, we ate all that high price food. So she ordered all that stuff, and I ordered just a little because I didn't want to take advantage of her. You know what I mean? I didn't want to take advantage of the woman. So I didn't order that much, but she ordered all that. So when the waiter came out, he put this receipt closer to me. I picked up the receipt and looked at it. I said, woo. At that time, I'm in college. My last name was not Gates, or my last name was not Buffett and all them cats. My last name was Toomer, and I didn't have that much money. I had a part-time job. But anyway, I said, ooh, the ticket was about $200 and some. I didn't have that kind of money. I had it, but I didn't have it. So anyway, I gave her the receipt. You know what that woman told me? She said, I ain't got no money. I said, what? She said, I ain't got no money. I said, you invited me here and you ain't got no money? You invited me here? She said, I ain't got no money. That put me behind the 8 ball. I paid for it. But keep in mind, my last name was Toomer and I'm in college. I didn't have that much money. I had a little part-time job. So I paid for it. But you know what? I paid for it in 2 ways. I came out financially, and I paid for it because I should have got more details in how it was going to be. So guess what? It was a blessing that came out of that. It went into my mind. It locked into my mind. So years went by. I'm an adult now. I'm out of college and everything. I was driving back to my hometown. I had went out of town, so I was driving back. So this young lady, she said, Tony, what's up? And I said, I'm almost back in the city. And she said, I want to let's have dinner. Let's meet at this particular restaurant. I said, okay, cool. She said, now this is what she said. She says, on me. I said, okay. So I went to this restaurant. Now she says on her. I got to the restaurant. We ate. And she was just eating stuff. She had this drink. She was drinking all these drinks, and I was just looking at her drink all that stuff and eat all. And we were laughing and having a good time. The waiter came to the table, but this time the waiter put the receipt at the middle of the table because years had went by, and now they start putting the receipt at the middle of the table. So that sister, she would not even look at the receipt. She wouldn't even look at it, and I'm thinking, why she ain't looking at it? So the waiter came and I said, will you bring me another glass of tea? So he went and I'm drinking. She still didn't pick up that ticket. He came back the second time and he said, is there anything else I could do for you? I said, bring me some more tea if you don't mind. So he went to get some, and then he brought the tea and he walked off. He came back the third time. And by the third time, I said, you haven't looked at that ticket. And you know what she told me? The waiter standing there now, you know what that woman told me? She said, you the man. You supposed to pay for the dinner. And I looked at her, and you know what went through my mind? What happened to me in college? But I said during that time, no woman was gonna bamboozle me like that no more. So you know what I did? This is what I did. I picked that ticket up. I held it up to a waiter, and I said, "You see this, this, and this. I'm paying for it. That other stuff, she paying for it." She wasn't smiling no more. She had all that food and drink. I said, "She paying for that." And she said, "You ain't gonna pay for it." I said, "No, you invited me. You invited me here." She said, "But the man supposed to pay for it." I said, "What man?" I said, "This man is not going to pay for it." I said, "I'm paying for my part because I don't want to get in no problem with the police or nothing." I said, "But you're going to pay for what you ate." And then she acted like she had alligator on, brothers and sisters. She acted like she had alligator on. Sister Grace said, "This is why men get traumatized and turn into savage." That's right. So I was saying to myself, you can have all the alligator arms you want, but you're gonna pay for it, or you're gonna go back there and bust some dishes. And that's how it was, my brother and sister. So I said that to say this: you single brothers and sisters, if you're gonna go out on a date, listen to this. If you're going out on a date, go somewhere neutral. If you're going out on a date, discuss how it's gonna get paid. Don't assume what it's gonna be. Brothers, if you invite these women out to dinner, you supposed to fund the dinner. Understand, brother? If you invite a woman out to dinner or out, you supposed to fund it, unless you all have a conversation and y'all gonna do that Dutch stuff, okay? Now, some women, they don't believe in that Dutch stuff. They don't believe in it, especially a lot of Western women. They don't believe in the Dutch stuff. But you see the thing about it, brother, you're not her husband, and sister, he's not your husband. And let me tell you this, brother, if you paying for a meal, don't expect for the woman to get horizontal after you take her to Applebee's. After you take her to Applebee's and you try to get her to order the 2-for-1 special. A lot of guys, and I hate to say that, a lot of Christian guys, you want the woman, you want to take her to Applebee's and you want her to get the 2-for-1. And then after you get the 2-for-1, you may take her to a movie or something if you do that. Then you get home and then you want a woman to get horizontal off of 2-for-1. Now, some guy, let me tell you about the word of men. Some word of men, they would tell the woman, "Meet me at the park. We could walk around the park. Meet me at Starbucks and we'll get a coffee. Meet me at the bar and I'll buy you a drink." That's how some worldly men do it, and they still expect for the woman to get horizontal. Sister Tammy said, "That's right. A man is supposed to pay if you ask me out." That's right. Now, sister, let me tell you this. If you ask the man out, you are expected to pay the bill. If you ask him out and you say it's on me, unless y'all discuss the Dutch thing. You understand, sister? And I recommend it, sister, if you're trying to get to learn a man, this is the best thing to do. I'm just telling you this is the best thing. Because a lot of men, they're expecting something on the back end after the date over with. This is my recommendation. Sister, you take care of your part and let him take care of his part so he won't have no expectation. You understand? That's the safe way. When you going out on a date, you're supposed to be learning the person on day one. And let me tell you what you need to talk about. I call it forms. 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 Let me tell you what those letters represent. F, discuss the family. That's brothers, you all need to discuss the family. Brothers and sisters, discuss the family to see do y'all have something in common. because it's a lie that opposite attract. Opposite don't attract. The only thing that opposite is she's a female and you're a male. Other than that, you got to have something in common. How can two walk together unless they agree? After you talk about family, you got to see whether y'all okay on the family part. After that, you talk about the O, which is occupation. You got to work because those bills gonna come. Okay, you got to talk about that on day. And I'm telling you all this. Go ahead and discuss that important part on date one, because brother, you ain't got time to waste. Sister, you ain't got time to waste. Go with it. Then the R, relationship. Relationship with who? God. See what type of relationship they have with God through his son Jesus. Brother, if she believes in something else other than Jesus, just finish the dinner. She's not for you. Sister, if she ain't got no relationship with Jesus, finish the dinner. Finish dinner. That's it. Then from the relationship, you go to the M, which is money. Discuss about the money. How would you all, if you get together as a married man and a woman, what we're going to do about the money? Are we going to merge together? How we going to do it? You need to discuss that stuff. You don't assume. After you do that, you need to discuss the S. What is S? Sex. You need to discuss that. You two adults, so you need to discuss that. Because more than likely, listen to me, my brother and sister, more than likely, brother, you got a history with some other women, more than likely. And sister, you probably got a history with other men. So you know what you like and you know what you don't like. Now, if you're a virgin, that could be a man or a woman. Hey, but that's rare. You need to discuss those 5 important topics you need to discuss when you're going out on a date. Sister Tammy said, what if he insists on paying? Okay, sister, if he insists on paying, that's your call. If he insists on paying. But let me tell you something. When most men insist on paying, they want something after the payment. They may try to come out with that chivalry stuff, but most men, when they go into their pocket, they may not tell you. They may not tell you. I said most men. I ain't say all men. But when most men come out their pocket, they want something out of it. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old, 70-year-old men and women still playing games. Let me tell you what the game is. How much I could get out of him or her without investing. Most men and most women of the world, they are scandalous. They have masks on, and it's all about me, myself, and I. The men are looking at getting the woman horizontal, and what I have to do to get her horizontal. Hopefully, I ain't got to invest that much into her, or what she got that I can get. And this is what the women looking at: how much I could get out of him without getting horizontal. So that's a big game that been played, my brother and sister. It's a form. Let me tell you what's a form of. It's a form of prostitution. That's what it is. And let me tell you, speaking of that, when a man and woman is not married, listen to this very carefully. If a man and woman is not married and they playing the role of a husband or wife, that's not God. God want a man and woman to be serious, committed, and move towards a covenant relationship. Satan will say, play like you're serious, play like you're committed, and you could act like you're married. God wants you to do it all. You see, the thing about it, my brother and sister, when you going to be intimate and stuff like that, God don't want you brothers and sisters doing the fornication part. Now, I'm guilty of fornication. I'm guilty, real guilty of a lot of fornication. I can't even count it in my past. I can't even count it. I'm just being honest and upfront with you, brothers and sisters. I don't know. If you ask me to give you a number, I'm fine. I say, I don't know. And I'm just being real. I don't know how many times. I don't know. But anyway, God washed me and cleansed me from that. So my brothers and sisters, you can know if a relationship is put together by God. And how do you know it? If that man or woman have Christ in him or her. If you pray to God for the right man or the right woman, God will orchestrate for you to get together, and you will know it. You won't feel it, but you'll know it. I'd put it this way. If you get married, when you get married, my brother and sister, your feeling go up and down. You see, when you get married, you don't feel that you're married. You know that you're married. You understand what I'm saying? You know it. You know what you did. So you someday in a marriage, you're gonna feel good. You're not gonna feel too good. But the bottom line is you're married. It's a fact. So the fact is you either married or you not. And God either put it together or he didn't. If you didn't do it God's way, God ain't got nothing to do it. I'm gonna tell you this before I roll out of here, my brother. So let me tell you this. A lot of you brothers and sisters, let me tell you this, especially you sisters, when you see a man and a woman on social media, a lot on social media or in public, especially social media, let's stay right there. When you see a man and a woman and it look like they having a good life, they got the big house, they got the fancy cars, they got a whole bunch of money, and they smiling a lot on social media. They are called the power couple. According to the world standard, because they popular, they got money, they got the big houses, they could take those exotic trips and all that. Nothing wrong with none of that. Nothing wrong. But let me tell you this. That doesn't mean God put them together. Don't you know Satan gives stuff away too? You see, Satan is the God of this world, Lil G, Lil O, Lil D. You see, Adam and Eve, they gave Satan the kings to this world. Satan running this world. When I say world, I'm talking about the system. God owns everything, the world. But Satan is running this world. You see, if you're in Christ, my brother and sister, you're not a part of this world. You was called out of this world, even though you living in the world. That's why people go, and when a man and woman is in Christ, if someone say to a man and woman in Christ, how do you all stay together? You all seem to be so happy. A man and woman in Christ would say, Jesus. That would be the first thing they'll say, Jesus. It's all about Jesus. A worldly couple would say, good communication. That's what a worldly couple would say, good communication. And then they might say, oh, God too. Believe what they say the first time. So my brother and sister, you can know before you say I do, whether that man or woman will be equally yoked to you or not. I hope, my brother and sister, that you all enjoyed this meal tonight. How you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. I hope that you all enjoyed this content. If you want to, you could take a plate with you, put it in the refrigerator or the microwave, and share with other family members and friends because they need to know this stuff. You understand it, my brothers and sisters? They need to know. It's very important. You can know if the relationship is put together by God. And let me tell you this. How can you tell when you look at a couple that God put in together? It's not about where they go at. It's not about the big house. It's not about the big car and stuff. No, you know what you see? You see something that it's something particular about that man and woman. It's something very particular about it. And what's particular about that man and woman, you see Christ in their relationship. Even if they smiling, what make them radiate is Jesus present in them. That's what make them look so good. Worldly couples, they look good based on what they have on the outside. So my brother and sister, don't get carried away when you see a man and a woman that they got the world stuff and they look happy. They empty on the inside. They empty. They going through the motion. They trying to pretend like they got it going on. They don't have it going on. Cause everything that they put in front of you, it has an expiration date. And they empty. But they front in front of you. They really ain't happy. They front. It's a whole bunch of married men and women. They front in front of you. So don't get jealous. Don't get envious of them. Majority of the couple, they don't have Jesus in them. Majority of the couple that you see, the Lord didn't put them together. They got together because they say, I love you, you love me. They don't even look beyond the purpose that we get together for God's purpose. When you ask, I can tell you this, my brother and sister, any married couple, those that you know is not at the dinner table, give them a test. Men and women that marry, ask them, why did they get married? Ask them. Majority of them is not going to say, because we together, because we got a work to do for the Lord. Majority of them ain't no do it. And when they tell you that, believe them. They did not go to God. A man that get on his knees and give a woman a ring and say, marry me. First of all, he wasn't supposed to get on his knees because the woman is not his God. And then on the flip side, you got women get on their knees asking the man, he's not your God. So when a man get on his knees, I know it's a tradition, but it's an evil tradition. When a man get on his knees and look up at a woman, what you're doing is elevating her into the Lord position. The only time you bow your knees is to God. You think God impressed when a man get on his knees and ask a woman to marry? He's not impressed. Because what you're doing, you're taking the glory away from God. You can't say God understands. He don't understand it. Only bow the knee to God. Sisters, it ain't nothing cute about you getting on your knees these days asking a man to marry you. He's not your God. Why some of these people, they think it's so cute getting on their knees? They are ignorant. What do I mean ignorant? I mean lack of knowledge. They lack knowledge. The only person I'm going to get on my knee for is Jesus. I'm not going to get on my knee for Cinderella. I didn't get on my knee for Cinderella when I asked her to marry me. She's not Jesus. And she didn't get on her knee for me. I'm not her Jesus. But we got married. We got married because we had knowledge. We were not ignorant. You see, God comes first, my brother and sister, in your relationship. Your spouse comes second. Nobody or nothing come before your spouse but Jesus. Always remember that. Remember that, my brother and sister. Only Jesus come before your wife, brother and sister. Only Jesus come before your husband, not your children. And brother, not your mama. Only your spouse come before everybody and everything. How you doing, Sister Tierra Mo? So my brother and sister, remember these things and share this information with our other brothers and sisters and your friends. If you have any question or comment, go ahead and put in the comment section. If you don't, I enjoyed being here with you, my brothers and sisters. How you doing, Mac Heavy? Mac Heavy, so I'm late to the table, but good evening, brother Tony. You welcome, brother Heavy. Those of you that came in late, you can go to my page because it's going to be on my page, okay? So if you have time, you can go to my page and look at it, okay? Because once we depart, it's going to be on my page, okay? So you all can catch up on it. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you all have a good night, okay? Remember this. Believe this. Say la vie. Peace out.